Hey guys, Utah Steve back for another hiking adventure. Big one today, maybe. It's beautiful Sunday fall afternoon, barely afternoon. It's like 12:10. It's about 55 degrees outside. The parking lot isn't too full. I am at the parking lot for the Ben Lomond Peak Trail. I don't know if I'm going to make it all the way to the peak. I don't have my kids today. I've got all freaking day. It's possible. I've never done this before, but it's been on my bucket list of things to do since I moved up to this area of Utah in 2012. So I'm really excited about it, but I'm also not holding my breath. I may just get up there, enjoy the views, and hike back to my car. Just depends on how I feel. So, and how things go. I'm all packed, ready to go. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time babbling, except if you do come up here to the North Ogden Divide trailhead going to the Ben Lomond Peak, do not put in your GPS North Ogden Divide parking lot. You will get sent to the North Ogden Canyon parking lot, which is a completely different parking lot, much lower. You have to actually put in Ben Lomond Trailhead North Ogden in your GPS. Right now our elevation is 5,720 feet. Ben Lomond's elevation is 9,712, I think. So, you know, that's 4,000 feet in elevation gain between this parking lot and the peak. So I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know how motivated I am. I just couldn't sit around the house without my kids there, and a big empty house, and not big, little empty house, and not a lot to do. So we're going to get on the trail. Yeah, I'll just stop running my mouth and let's see what this is all about. I have hiked this a little bit in the past, a little ways up, but not all the way up to where it levels out. Your biggest stretch of this trail is going to be a long flat portion between above where we are now and the peak to the west. So anyway, that's that. Let's get on the trail. Now on this side of the trail, or this side of the, I should say the side of the North Ogden Divide Highway here, this is a totally different trail. This is the Pioneer Trail. And then across the street over there is where we have our North Ogden Divide trailhead. It's very subtle. You almost don't notice it. So our plan is to get on the trail there. It'll zigzag. It'll eventually end up way up there on the ridge and follow it all the way to the peak. That's the plan. But I gotta give that girl some space because she's going on the same freaking trail. And in case you didn't know, this is a monument. It tells you, it says so. Indian Trails Monument, dedicated July 21st, 1984. Erected by Ogden Pioneer Chapter, something of the Utah Pioneers and the Boy Scouts of America. Talking about all the different trails in this area. Pretty amazing. Talks about some of the pioneer settlements that were up here. Sons of the Utah Pioneers, that's what SUP stands for. And the Boy Scouts of America side talks about early explorations of the area. Alright, I think I've given our friend a little bit of leeway, and I am not in a huge hurry. She looks pretty fit, like she's gonna run up that trail. I'm not. Down there's the town of Eden, Huntsville, etc. The other side is North Ogden. Who cares? Let's disappear into the woods. Avoid this trail when wet. If you leave tracks, turn back. Very muddy and slippery. They don't want to have to rescue you. This trail is like a ditch. At least that part of it. Motor vehicles prohibited November 15th through July 15th to provide wildlife security. What motor vehicles? Motorcycles, I guess? That sucks that they even allow it. Probably mountain bikes. I bet there's a lot of mountain bikes. I bet the reason there's a ditch here because of motorcycles. Beautiful though. Okay, I just came up this trail. It comes up to here, crosses this trail, and continues on up. What it is the main trail comes down here, winds around and comes up this way, continues on that way. This appears to be a shortcut, cutting right through up to where you need to be. However, this is really steep. This is pretty level. Depends on what you want to punish yourself with. For the purposes of this video, you know, I am tempted to take the shortcut all the way up. I can't come up to here so far. I'm just going to continue on the main trail because it's really scenic and beautiful, and there's wildlife up here. We may see mountain goats. I don't know. I don't know how far we'll make it up. We'll see. The one reason it's so daunting to me is it's afternoon, and to the peak is 14 miles. Well, it's 14 miles round trip. It's 7 miles to the peak. So, I don't know. We'll see how the day goes, but we're not taking the shortcut. We're taking the long cut. Well, there's my car down in the parking lot. We've made some progress. We've zigzagged through all of this down below me. We're getting closer to the higher peaks, I guess. I guess these all have their own little names. I don't know them all. And we continue our elevation climb. Pine View Reservoir down there. Parking lot. Way down there. There's my car right kind of in the middle of the screen, out of focus, but it's there. Come on, camera. I don't know why it won't focus. Anyway, my car's down there. We've hiked all through this. Believe it or not, Ben Lomond Peak is that way, but our trail is going this way, up along there. Then it's going to zigzag back and do a couple more switchbacks and slowly make its way that direction. All that work to get that direction. It's quite a bit. The temperature hasn't been too bad. I've stopped to kind of catch my breath here and there. I'm not in a huge hurry. So it's been nice to just kind of not worry about pounding miles so much. Anyway, that's where we're at so far. Let's see what our elevation is. How far have we come? It was 5,700 something in the parking lot. And right now we are at 62, almost 63. So 500-600 feet in elevation gain. Not much compared to the 4,000 we have to gain. So it is what it is. We'll just keep moving. Still feeling good, no worries. Okay, we've reached the first switchback. Heads up this way. As you can see, I was filming right down there a little bit ago. But look what I came out to. There's our parking lot way down there. This, my friends, the town of Eden at Liberty. Look at that view. That's incredible. We've gone 2.13 miles. So not quite halfway to the peak, but wow. That is just breathtaking. Hard to believe this will all be covered in snow soon, which is why it was so important that I get out today. The air is very smoky. There's a wildfire burning somewhere. I can tell by the way the smoke is resting on the mountains out toward Nevada. You can see, I can't see what I'm filming at the moment, so I apologize. But you may be able to see the smoke resting on the far mountains out there. Parked way down there. Keep having to show the parking lot, not because I'm an idiot, but because, well, that is part of it, but because I want to give an idea of how far we've come. Wow. Dang. It was worth it just to hike to here. You could eat lunch right here and be happy with that, but there's so much more to see, my friends. The trail goes up here, cuts across there, right through there, and who knows after that. We'll find out. This is fantastic. I'm getting excited. Well, that explains all the motor oil I keep finding. Don't agree with it, but whatever, to each their own. Found our first pine tree. Beautiful green pine tree here all by himself. Everything else is sagebrushy and dry. This is interesting in Utah where the pines meet the desert. I suppose you run into it all across the West, including California, northern and southern California. But we've come quite a ways, and we're starting to get further and further into pine trees, as you can see. So right down there is our trail, and I saw these couple of trails coming off of it, coming up here. I thought I'd check it out. This is really cool. A little firing, flat place for a tent. Lots of pine trees. Still up above the town of Eden, looking east right now. Look how the leaves have changed. Isn't that beautiful? Anyway, this is something I want to keep in mind. I definitely want to camp here. It's not far off the trail. It's hidden enough that no one may even know you're up here. There may be hammock spots in these trees, but the hill is pretty steep, so I think it's more of a tent site. Absolutely want to come back here. I love going on hikes for this very purpose. I find the coolest little camping spots to come back to. I have a whole list of them in my head. Look how steep that is. Okay, another perspective shot. Parking lot. Pine View Reservoir is where to go. There it is. We are up here. Way up here. That's where I was, down on that peak where that campsite was, kind of down in this little dip here. We are about 3.16 miles in of the 7 to the peak. What I'm gonna do is get up here where it levels off, find a place to sit, hydrate, ponder what I want to do next. Do I want to go to the peak? Do I want to just hang out there, enjoy the day? I don't know. I didn't have a definite plan, so it just depends on how I feel when we get right up there, which isn't too much further, I don't think. The trail goes this way, and then I think it comes back this way, and then we may be in for a lot of flat hiking up there, which is good. Most of the hike is very flat, but it's very long. So none of this has been incredibly steep, but it's been rocky and long. This is not a kid-friendly hike. So if you bring pets, make sure you have lots of water with you. I have 3 liters with me. I don't know how much I've drank. That's another thing I want to assess when I get up there. See how much water I still have. There's no water source up here. Kind of take a look at my food arrangement. So we'll figure that out in a minute. In the meantime, let's keep moving. Okay guys, we are 3.6 miles in, so we are halfway, and we are just shy of, I'd say an hour, not quite 2 hours. We've been hiking for about an hour and 40 minutes, which is really good time. Some people say it takes 4 hours to get there. Of course, if I kept moving non-stop, I'd probably get there just fine, under that 4-hour time limit. But I need to rehydrate. I need to cool off. This breeze is wonderful. Here's my view from under this amazing pine tree, looking out. So again, down there you have the towns of Eden and Liberty. Liberty is more that way, and Eden is more over this way, kind of obscured by the bushes. Up that canyon you have a ski resort called Powder Mountain. I drove up there once, but it was raining, so I didn't stay. I heard there are some good hiking trails up in there. But hey, not a bad view. Okay, so I've drank about 1 liter of water. That gives me 2 to go. It's plenty. None of the food I have really requires a lot of water, so it's not like I have to worry about cooking with it. What I have is an MRE again. I'm down to my last 2, this being one of the 2 that I ordered at the first of the year. I ordered a case of 12, and I've used them all year long if you go back through my videos from this year. I believe today's is cheese, rotini, whatever. It feels nice and full of snacks and food and whatnot. So looking forward to that, but I am nowhere near hungry. Just before I hit the trail, I intentionally ate 2 cheeseburgers, a bunch of potato chips, had an instant breakfast, took a multivitamin, and drank a Mountain Dew Kickstarter. So I feel fine. It's just the hydration. I got overheated. I started feeling sluggish. I realized I wasn't peeing at all. Okay, I need to drink. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll hit the trail again. 2 nights ago, I ate at a buffet, and let me tell you, I ate probably 3,000 calories. Easy. I do not know when to quit at a buffet. That's why I don't go to them often. And the thing is, this is really helping me feel better about that, because I don't eat like that. Wind's picking up as we get higher. The trees are starting to show up. The pine trees are starting to show themselves. Beautiful mountainside there. We may see mountain goats along here. I'm not sure. As it is right now, it is 2:20 p.m. and I'm thinking I'll keep moving. I don't know. I'm not satisfied to just end here and head back. So we'll keep moving into those trees right there. Well, we've run into a few patches of snow. Just a little bit in a shady area where it's not allowed to melt. All through this hillside there's little patches of it. But mostly it looks like this. And it just keeps going. You know, I see a trail all the way up there. Right there in the middle of the screen. And it's quite possible that that's my trail. Oh my goodness. 3 more miles, guys. So the little blue dot is me. And our trail continues. It looks like it does go around that hillside. Unless I'm mistaking it for something else. I could be. But it goes up here and then switches back a couple times. And we continue on until we hit a couple of springs. I don't know if they're close to the trail. And then there are all these switchbacks. Those are actually going up to the peak, which is right here. So that's how far we have left to go. And my concern now, honestly, is night hiking. Not a big deal. I do have a flashlight. There's only one trail in and out. It's not hard to find my way back to the car. But I'm not sure I want to do it. I'm not hungry yet. It's not dinner time. It's 3 p.m. If I continue hiking, I could probably still make it by 4. Sit there for a little bit and then hike back to the car by 8:30 or 9 p.m. The question is, do I want to do that? This is really the kind of hike. As usual, I should start early in the morning and end in the late afternoon or evening, but obligations at home don't allow me to always do that. So I had some things going on this morning. I couldn't get out the door till noon. I don't know. I think I'm gonna hike a little further and just see how I feel. And if I'm not feeling good about it, my gut says go back, then I'm listening to my gut. What would you do? I really want to make it. I really want to do it. But I'm not sure this is the day or not. I'm not sure. Let's keep moving. And I'll check back in a little bit. That way. Well, here's what I'm thinking. Come all this way. Look at all that beauty down there. We've come from down here in those trees. We're parked clear on the other side of that. We're about 5 miles in with 2 more to go. Here's our trail. And yes, folks, it does go around the side of that hill there. And then back around the back of it. So 2 miles, yes. But is it 2 miles I really care about? If it were 2 hours earlier in the day, I'd go for it. And I know I do this a lot in my videos. I almost make it and then I decide to go back. I'm still debating. I can't bring myself to just head back now. The views are incredible. If there was somewhere to sit right here and just enjoy the view, I'd probably be content with that. I'm not a peak bagger. I'm not a miles pounder. I'm just a hiker and a backpacker and a camper and a fisher. And have to decide how much of this I really want. I think I'm going to keep going. I'm going to end up hiking in the nighttime, but I'm going to keep going. I have a down coat, I have a beanie, I have supplies if I need to keep warm in some way. I have first aid kit, I have food, I have water. The only thing I don't have is a whole lot of motivation, because I keep thinking about relaxing on a Sunday evening with some warm food next to me and watching YouTube. Sounds pretty good to me right now. I've been through a lot emotionally lately, and that's playing on my mind quite a bit. I've had to think about a lot of things that have taken place in my life recently. That's kind of, I think, slowing me down, just the things that are going through my head. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going. We're going to go up that stupid trail and around the backside, and there should be another switchback, and then it's just open all the way to the peak, and right at the base of the peak, a whole bunch of the little switchbacks to the top. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I need to do this. I don't know why, but I need to do this. My son Murphy, he's going to be 24 this month. He's done this hike a handful of times, all the way to the peak. His preferred method is to go at night hike it. So to hike at night on this mountain for him is pretty routine. Typically that's in the summertime when it's scorching hot. So in a way he's an inspiration. If I have to hike back at night, I can do it. Okay guys, we have reached one switchback right here in the woods. Thank goodness it doesn't continue on. This is good news because there's only one more right up here, and then a long straight trail to the switchbacks that lead to the peak. Oop. I'm beat. This trail's kicking my butt, I won't lie. It is listed as hard on the All Trails app. It's brutal. I'm sure there are people out there who'll say, I've hiked that 8,000 times. I didn't even lose my breath. I didn't even take water with me. Congratulations. This is harder than I thought it would be. And go ahead and pat yourselves on the back. But I haven't given up. The degree of difficulty means a hell of a lot more. When it's something you can do super easy, who cares? When it's something that you have to struggle with to make it happen, it means so much more to you when you succeed. Right up there is the ridge. Look at that view. Woo! That's incredible. Okay, another switchback. Now this should be a long open trail to the peak. And boy, do I have a view for you. There she is. Ben Lomond looming over us. There's the tippy top. Oh my goodness. So, here's something you may not care about, but I do. I am terrified of heights. That's a big reason I do this stuff, is to sort of overcome my fears. The trail goes right along the side of that mountain.
And that is more of a drop off than it looks. Whew, to get up to that peak. It's hard to see the valley below. So much smoke. Wonder where the wildfire is. Anyway, a little over a mile left. Very smoky. It's crazy. Get down below it, you can see the city a little better. Believe it or not, that's the Great Salt Lake out there. Okay guys, here's the part where Utah Steve stares at the trail and doesn't look that way. I'm not kidding when I say I'm afraid of heights. I won't even get on the roof of my house. And here I am climbing to the highest peak in Weber County, Utah. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I can't really think about it even. I get dizzy. So for the next little bit, I'm not gonna film because I have to go up this trail and across that ridge, well, across the middle of that hillside right there. And tell you, in the wintertime, that's covered with snow. You can't even get up here. Oh, what am I doing? What do I put myself through this for? This is insane. Stare at the trail, Steve. Okay, I lied. I am gonna film a little just to show that I really did cross this. When I look straight down, it just looks like dirt and trail and sagebrush, and that's fine. But I cannot lift my head and look that way. Too much for me. I don't know where it comes from. Nothing traumatic happened to me when I was growing up. I've just hated heights my whole life. I get vertigo, I get completely turned around and dizzy and nauseated, and I come pretty close to fainting. It's not going to stop me though. What really scares me is that peak is even higher than this. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going. You can do this. Just stare at the ground and don't look that way. I wish it was a clearer day so you guys could appreciate this more. But it is what it is. Wildfire season in several western states. Ever closer. Oh God, I can't even look to my left at all. This is awful. Okay, come on, man. You know, night hiking doesn't seem like such a bad idea. Can't see all that down there. Holy crap. I welcome the sight of those trees right there. Now on these rocks, there are often mountain goats. So I've been kind of keeping my eye out. So far, nothing, but it looks like our trail bends that way or goes right up here to that ridge. I'm not sure which. I hope it goes behind those cliffs and not through them. I think it does. Go around them, yeah, it goes up. Looks like it goes that way. Okay. All right. Liberty down there. Ben Lomond this way. Actually over there. And that's where we came from. I don't know about Ben Lomond today, guys. See what's up here. I keep saying this. And I keep going. It's almost 4. My car is a long way down. A long way back. Let's see what's up here. The top of this little hill. Although it feels like a big hill. Okay guys, this is the ridge line that I can see from my home down in Ogden. You can follow it from down there all the way along. You can see the trail continues right up there, up that hillside. Then you hit the zigzags somewhere in there that take you to up there. Let's find a spot to sit and chat, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. What's going on in this noggin? So windy, so much smoke, so many tiny people. Where's a spot out of the wind here? What a hideous view. Oh, it's beautiful. Very rocky. Very mountain goaty. But I haven't seen any. I suppose if I continue on, I will. God, that's beautiful. I've never seen that angle of Ben Lomond. It's amazing. I'm getting chased by some kind of bird. Alright. Let's see. I'm going to hike down there into those trees and reassess once again. Discuss what on earth is Utah Steve thinking. Okay guys, as you can tell, it's gotten chilly. We're getting close to above the tree line and temperature's gone down and it's windy. It's probably in the upper 40s, low 50s right now. Here are my thoughts on reaching that peak. First, let me whip out my phone. Aren't you glad I said phone? And let's look at this. Okay. We are at 7,700 feet. We've climbed 2,000 feet. And it has taken us 4 hours to do it. We've gone 6.87 miles, which tells me that 7 miles to the top may be incorrect, but I don't think so. It tells me that 2,000 feet to go. just to reach the peak, which means these next few trails right before the peak are going to get incredibly steep, because there's only a little over a mile left in the trail to the peak, and that means there's still 2,000 feet to go. So we have burned 1,484 calories, gone 15,193 steps since the parking lot, and have been hiking for 155 minutes. So, do I want to spend the next hour hiking 1 mile to the peak, getting there around 5 p.m. with up to 4 hours left to get back to the car, including hiking back down the peak? We are almost exactly 2,000 feet below the peak with only a mile to go. That's pretty intense. And if it wasn't 4 p.m., I wouldn't worry about it. We have 2.5 hours until sunset. So there's the other issue. It is autumn, and the sunset is going to happen around 6:30 p.m. By 7, it'll be pretty dark. So what I think I'm gonna do is eat, re-energize, rehydrate, and hoof it back to the car. Now, that may seem disappointing, but I didn't come up here to put my life in danger. I do still want to reach the peak of Ben Lomond. This is the furthest I've ever gone, and my thought is it's just too risky. If something were to go wrong, I would be stuck up here overnight. I'm mostly prepared for that, but I didn't even have a full plan to go to the peak. I just wanted to hike the trail. So I haven't failed. I'm not disappointed. If my goal was I'm going to Ben Lomond Peak today, then that would have been I wouldn't have succeeded. I would have to say I didn't make it. But my goal was to hike along here and see how I felt as I went. And I made it pretty freaking far. And the views are incredible. That's my city down there. And my voice is getting hoarse because I have not drank enough water. So I have about 2.5 liters still. So all I've drank is 1.5 liters, maybe 1 liter of water since I started. I also have my MRE with me and some snacks. It's all way down in here. Cheese tortellini and tomato sauce. I'm gonna chow down, re-energize. It's gonna make me feel a ton better than I do. Drink lots of fluids, whatever fluids are in here. Hopefully there's a beverage bag in here because I didn't bring a cup. But maybe there's some Gatorade, whatever there is in here. I'm gonna drink that. I'm gonna drink my water. Not all of it, but maybe use half of what I've got left just sitting here. Enjoy the view. And luckily most of the trail is downhill going back to the car. It won't take 4 hours to get back. But I'm gonna feel a lot better hiking back to the car after eating this. So that's my plan. We did not make it to the peak, but I'm not defeated. I live here, so who knows. So here's what's been going on with me. I can't text and talk at the same time, and it's frankly rude to you people. Sorry about that. I've been going through a custody battle with my ex-wife, and we are already divorced. We have been divorced for 1.5 years. And she left me 2 years ago. We had a difference in viewpoints. We didn't get along anymore. Irreconcilable differences. 4 years of marriage counseling. The marriage crumbled, fell apart. I actually got into the outdoors to have something to do because she had checked out of our marriage, even though she still lived in the same house with me. So the reason Utah Steve even exists is because my marriage was falling apart. I'm over all that. I'm over her. I'm not concerned even a little bit about that, but due to some life changes, some choices she's made, a custody battle has ensued. I'm not going to go into it in detail. My kids have been in my protective custody for, it was about 2.5 months. And this is my first weekend with them back in their mom's care every other weekend. And it's been hard for me. It's been hard for me to have an empty house after having my kids. I know it was hard for her to go 2 months without the kids, but that didn't happen for no reason at all. There was a reason it happened. And I've been paying lawyer and fighting her in court, and it's not over yet. And it's getting expensive, and my kids thankfully are still in good spirits. I'll get to see them again tomorrow morning, but I have a really hard time being separated from my kids because they are my whole world. I don't have a spouse. I'm pretty much on my own with that. I'm grateful that she's back in their lives, that she's made some better choices, but I don't know how long it's going to last, and I have to protect them and myself legally. So I've been going through a lot of stuff, and it's costing a lot of money and a lot of emotion, and it has been incredibly difficult. So a lot of my motivation to get out here and just enjoy the outdoors has been sucked away by the emotions and frankly the finances of trying to gain control of my life and make sure that my kids and I are protected and safe, and that my ex-wife is making better choices. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. Let's peek in the MRE here. It's a big fat one. I'm hopeful that there's a lot going on in here because I really hate it when people talk in question marks like I'm doing right now. I don't know why I'm doing that. I never do that. I am just starting to get hungry now. I ate about 5 hours ago. So here's our main course, the cheese tortellini. Of course, we heat that in our with our heating element. Okay, here is our accessory bag. We have creamer and coffee. I was hoping for some Gatorade type stuff, but okay. Maybe there is a bag still in here. Trail mix recovery. I like the sound of that. Pretzels. Does it describe it? We'll have to look at it when we open it. Chomp that down. What else do we got? Vanilla pudding. Dessert. Awesome. Stay there. Oh, this is fantastic. You know, if you've seen my other videos with the MREs, I'm always complaining about the cheese spread and how much I hate it. And please give me peanut butter. Well, they did me one better this time. We got chocolate peanut spread. It's kind of like Nutella, I guess. Except it's peanuts, not hazelnuts. And that's going on these crackers. And praise Jeebus, there is electrolyte powder. However, I'm not seeing a beverage bag, and I don't have a cup with me. Oh, here we go. Hot beverage bag, which we can also use for the electrolytes. You know what, guys? I think I'm going to eat this entire meal. This is our heating element. Got a little spoon and some pepper sauce for the tortellini. I think so, guys. This whole thing, I'm going to kill it. that's good. It's Gatorade. Oh, that's really good. That's definitely not Nutella. It's got a peanut flavor to it. But it's alright. It's chocolate peanut butter is what it is. That's really thick. It's hard to get it out of there. There we go. That's good. All right. The wind is blowing my crap everywhere. This does not spread well. Look at this. It's so oily. I'm just like moving it around the cracker. Well, could be worse. Could be cheese. Let's do a sandwich. I wish I had jam. Even though it's chocolate, that would be good. It's okay. Not a fan of these crackers. They're so dry. But it's okay. This beverage bag's come in really handy because it has the measurements on the side. So this the pudding requires 4 ounces. So I've measured that out. I'd just be eyeballing it otherwise. Here's hoping I don't spill. Is that pudding on your pants, or are you just happy to see me? Alright. Stirry, stirry. Looking a lot like vanilla soup. Does it say you have to let it sit? Oh, shake for 60 seconds, finish stirring with a spoon. Okay. You know what's helpful is instructions, if you read them. That's strong. That's really strong. I'm running low on battery, so I'm cutting this into little segments, but here's your pudding. It's pretty good. Kind of tastes like that artificial pie filling stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. It tastes familiar. Really good. This is really boosting my morale. Amazing how something as simple as a snack can make you feel so much better. My whole perspective is shifting. I didn't realize how hungry I was, how low my blood sugar was. I'm starting to feel like I could run right up that mountain, but I don't have enough time. 3 people that went up ahead of me have already made it and have started heading back. It's just the sun sets too early this time of year. One girl that just went back started at the same time I did. She was wearing workout clothes and looked like a trail runner. That's not me. So yeah, of course she made it. She'll be back to her car and in her jammies when I'm halfway done with the trail. Trail mix. Oh wow. This looks better than I thought it would. Look at those little pretzel balls. Little tiny like pretzel guys. and cashews and almonds instead of, you know, M&Ms and peanuts. Good. Want some? All right, main entree, all heated up, nice and warm. I don't know why they started making them so you cut them this way to eat out of them. It's hard to dig the food out, so I always cut them my own way. This would be a bad place to cut your finger open. They're up here. There we go. All right. Look at that. We're going to add the pepper sauce. Woo! It's Tabasco type sauce. Dang, that went right in my mouth. Woo! That is spicy. That's the spicy. Stir it up. Here's what she looks like. Very Chef Boyardee, but very good. I love the sauce, the spicy sauce. That's really got some nice kick, and it warmed through, so that's good. Life's too short to eat dessert last. Well, I'm done with dinner. That was quite delicious. I feel a lot better. And as you can see, we're all cleaned up. My garbage is all in there, so no worries. Getting windier and windier. Don't know if you can hear me over that. The smoke is just everywhere down there. Crazy. Several people walk by now that were on the peak. Apparently they came up much earlier than me and sat up there on the top of old Ben Lomond. I'm a little disappointed because now I have energy and I want to go up there, and I could. I really don't want to hike back in the dark, and it's getting colder. So I have to take into consideration the time of year. I need to pick a weekend where I don't have my boys and I can get up first thing in the morning and just knock this out. We'll sit up there for a long time next time and talk. But this ridge has been really nice to me. I don't know what it's called, but it is beautiful. And we'll walk over here to the cliff. What's left of my battery, I'll show you the view, but let's check this out. Oh my goodness. Oh no. No, yeah. I'm not getting closer than that. Fond farewell to old Ben Lomond. We will make it up there. You may have noticed the closer I got to that cliff, the windier it got. Yeesh. Just as soon as you're out away from the hills at all, that wind is pretty vicious. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up right here on top of this mountain because I don't have a lot of battery left here. And I got plenty of battery in my GoPro, but the sound sucks. So I'm Utah Steve. Thank you for joining me for another video. I I want to thank Mr. Ben Lomond for making an appearance at least. And we'll see you in the next one. Do yourselves a favor. Get off the couch. Get outside and have some fun. The views are spectacular. We'll see you in the next one, guys.